So
In the recording part, is that important?
it is, because that's what I post. That's what actually gets put on YouTube's. The live
So
part
what are we
doesn't
doing
record.
here?
Well,
What are we doing here?
We're starting over again. I'm going
God.
to me.
Oh,
To me. I was trying to figure out if I could just push it, but yeah, we lost all the first 10 minutes of fun, which is too bad because I actually really love that intro of us just talking about the dog. Episode 3 of the Peacock show, Day of the Jackal. To recap, you watched it 20 minutes ago, and so you're going to recap. Starting with, of course, the Jackal's home life.
all right. The Jackal's home life. It's
Not going well.
I'm gonna have to speed through it. This
Yeah,
time.
that's fine. You can speed through it a little bit.
It's not going well. His wife is,
On to his shenanigans.
yeah, suspecting him of cheating because of the events of last ep, because of a mother-in-law and a brother chirping.
She
in her
searches
ear.
his office, and there is nothing in it. No papers, nothing.
So she starts to do a little snoop. She does FaceTime with him. He's being a little dodgy. So she goes off and zip-zaps around until she finds a secret safe. She doesn't know the combination. She tries everything except
The angle grinder that he suggests. Yeah, the correct combination, which again, my debit code
69,
pin
69,
69. Got it.
Can't get in. Finds a secret room. Tries to get into that. Can get into that because her brother-in-law has one drill. Drills in. It's all of his various sniper stuff. Cash,
He's
masks,
got some guns,
fake IDs,
he's got some cash, he's
etc.
got some fake IDs.
Is this alarm triggered? Yes, it is. The Jackal knows that the three of them together have broken in, and that's where
It's on a video.
that's where we leave them.
That's
Now,
where we leave that storyline.
that's
And
the
of
Jackal at
course,
home.
your favorite line
My
from
favorite line.
from that scenario.
No creams, no lipsticks, no makeups. Well, she must have been an ugly girl.
Which of course,
Belly laugh from me. Over to work. He's got to pretend to be an old cripple guy. Break
Yep.
into a funeral home. Get some intel off that. Go and dress up as one of the drivers for the guy that he screwed last ep. Kill that driver. Take his car. Now we get to the car chase, which I thought was very exciting.
it was an exciting and fun car chase.
Car guy to car guy. Was that a fun car chase?
Yes. It was shot well. The driving was very good. The scene was very fun. I have more comments on it, but we'll talk about that after the summer.
Gets out of the car. Shoots the guy.
Shoots the guy.
Shoots the guy.
The
Forget
brother,
about this.
no, the son of the guy he assassinated earlier, which we found out was the guy who paid
Was
him
his
to
contractor.
assassinate the dude at the beginning.
And he's a big bag of shit, and he leaves his phone on, and so now all his family knows that he's a big bag of shit.
Yeah. Well,
Doesn't matter for him.
only his
He's dead,
security
and-
guard knows.
well, sure.
But yes, he's good. Somebody else is going to find out.
He's dead, and he blows up.
He blows up.
Jackal gets away, and he's heading off to do his next kill, which was contracted by that lovely lady.
By the rich billionaire family, who we're all rooting for.
Who, if they could just catch one break, it would be the first break. And that's where we leave off with him at work.
Yep. And then we got hashtag good cop.
And we got Bianca. She's about to get yelled at.
Yeah.
We think, uh-oh, she's a bad cop.
And so she throws a
doesn't know
Hail
what she's
Mary.
doing. But it turns out she does. She's recovered this suitcase. She unpacks the suitcase, and it's a gun that looks like it came from like an Electra set. It looks, I mean that in a very
It was very cool.
positive way. It looked awesome.
She
And they
does
say-
the very smug, I know I'm in trouble, but allow me to demonstrate without words how good of a job I actually did.
Right. Couple of people died, but I found that, and of course she didn't find it. She gave it to her friend, but whatever.
Yeah.
They don't know that. So she keeps on keeping on. We learn a little bit about her home life. She's got a husband and she's got a mom who is struggling with alcoholism and does need some financial support. So she's being
investigated
audited.
to see, because there's clearly a leak, and they're trying to figure out who that leak might be, we get a little bit of a side espionage scene where her boss or her manager talks to her and is like, hey, off the record, keep this to a very small number of people.
One of these 4 people, you, me, or...
And they both have the, like, it could be either one of us, but we're going to assume it's neither of us for this conversation.
And then we have our lady from the Eyrie.
Yeah.
Who...
Jane of Erie, poor soul.
She's upset.
She's very upset. They're riding the train into London to identify the body of their daughter.
Yep.
Who did.
She's crying. She
Her
meets
husband's
with
crying.
Bianca. She doesn't agree to help. They go back to the hotel room. Husband figures out that she's been a little bit of a chatty Cathy.
Yep.
Gets a little bit upset. Punches a wall. Punches some other stuff. And eventually our lady agrees to work with Bianca.
That was before.
I think she didn't she agree at the end?
She agrees on the phone, but that's clearly not her.
Ah.
I'm pretty sure that's her husband trying to get a meeting to start some bad stuff.
Got it. Okay.
That's my interpretation, is because he carries her off to the hotel. She tries to run away.
Yeah. Doesn't get
because
far.
he accuses her. She tries to run down the hallway.
Feet.
Yep. He smashes her head against the wall,
which is mean.
And then we see her get dragged back into the hotel room, and then maybe 10 minutes later we get a text to Bianca that's like, I'm gonna help you, which in my mind clearly meant he's got her phone and is setting her up for something.
I'll say probably.
Yeah. Not confirmed at this time, but that's what I'm guessing is going on. Okay, notes. I've got some great notes on this one, actually, because I actually was like, I'm going to watch this once, and then I'm going to watch it again, and then write down notes. But then I just started writing down notes because I had so many comments. He meets with this bank lady, or you said it was a funeral home?
I thought it was a funeral.
Either way, that's totally possible. He's meeting with an important lady to try and find out who paid him for this first assassination. It's all part of his investigation. And I was hoping to send the scene to my German friend to see how good his German is, because it sounded very good to me.
Sounded great to these untrained ears.
Yes, to these not,
beautiful language.
Yes. Very soft spoken language. He has this plan to distract her, which is to feint a migraine, and then she offers to go get the medication from his car, and then that's when he hacks into her computer. I want to know what the plan was if that didn't work, because that seemed to be way too convenient that it was just like immediate. Like, that seems like a bad plan if you're like, I'll say that I have a migraine and she will for sure offer to go get my drugs out of my car for me. And then my next note was, did his son hire him? Which was before we found out that he did, which I was pretty proud of myself for immediately getting that. Though it was a wink and a nudge. It was not like they weren't giving it away, but they were very much like.
It was heavily discounted.
They went, I believe it was like he hacked into the thing and then it immediately showed him, the other guy. So it was very much like a alliteration, and then it was very soon after that they were like, it's pretty clear. I confirmed that she obviously does not know what he does, though I think we already confirmed that, but I was wondering if he was going to tell her by the end. This was obviously before she had gotten Super Snoop into the closet. I thought she had maybe forgiven him when she made that joke, and I thought they would sit down and have a nice chat, but no. And then my next note was, oh shit, she's going through his stuff. And then I immediately was like, how professional is he? Like, is he going to leave something really stupid in his office? And it kind of blows my mind how little of a backstory he has prepared for her at all. Like, he basically just goes, I work, you know that.
Right.
I work all the time. I have a business. I have a business to do right now.
What are his options now? How many professions require the secret room with a bunch of clothes, cash, masks, fake IDs?
Very little.
It's all stuff you go to jail for.
So my thought was, if like your backstory is I've never been able to tell you this because I'm a spy, that's like your only option, and I'm not allowed to tell you about this stuff. And then you have a friend who plays your boss, and now you've sold it.
Yeah.
We can never talk about this again. Yeah, it bugs me. For a second, when they broke into the room, I thought he might have a button and like end it.
You mean
Like if he was an
explode it,
extreme
or-
professional, yeah, I felt like he would have had. I also was a little bothered by how far they got before his alarm went off.
Yeah.
Like maybe you should have the alarm that goes off when the mirror moves, or when someone's in your closet,
Yeah.
where
no,
your secret safe and your other thing are.
no free ads, but Simply Safe would have gotten it just at the drill noise.
Yeah, yeah. This is my constant complaint with the show, is that he's supposed to be this extreme professional, and in the book and the movie that we've watched so far, that is the constant impression, is like this guy doesn't fuck up, and it's very small fuck ups that lead to him being captured. In this, there seems like a lot of pretty big fuck ups.
Yeah.
The number one being that he has a family.
I was going to say, number one is having a wife
Yeah.
with a child.
Back to
And
the
a brother.
cop talking to Our Lady of Erie, I immediately was like, oh, please leave this poor lady alone.
She has been through enough.
She has been through quite a bit. And then I was like, oh my God, our hashtag good cop is an awful person.
has been through enough.
I never got that from the book character, that he was like a bad person.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's always bent
Obviously,
over
this has to be
backwards
different. We're not
yeah.
trying to do the book, but I think that it was a pretty big step away from that. I just wrote a funny note here. It says, a family that snoops together. And then I wrote, do you have a code that Anna doesn't know?
No, all my codes are pretty guessable, unfortunately.
Is
You're
she
seeing various-
is she in your phone?
Is she in my phone?
Yeah.
She's in my under Anna, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, does she have like the pin to
I
your
call
phone
my
or
wife
your-
all the
or
time.
the thumb?
She has the pin. She does not have the face.
Yeah, that's always interesting to me. And then I wrote, this is why you never pull a permit, which I think is hilarious, that he has this secret room and a lot of money, but couldn't build that secret room outside of a permit. And then also store your plans in a public, secret room, not 101.
You need a secret room for your secret room.
I mean, if you've learned anything from the Winchester house,
right, just keep building.
just keep building.
Just keep going.
Did you ever read The Devil in the White City?
No.
It's all about this Chicago serial killer during the World's Trade Fair.
About,
and he basically,
what's his name?
I forget what
Yeah,
his
you're
name is,
talking-
but he
talking
builds
about-
this whole hotel-ish mansion
Yeah.
thing. And he basically,
H.H. Holmes.
yes. And
He was not a nice
he was
person.
not a good person. Total con man too, which is interesting. But what was interesting about that
sort
is
of the
he,
least of his crimes, dude.
yeah, that's totally fair. But I always find it funny how like you have to be a charismatic person, I feel like, to convince people to do that thing.
Yeah.
But he didn't come off as a very like big winner in life, if that makes sense. And I don't mean the murder part, but like he didn't.
He had his own hotel.
Yeah, he did. That he got because he married some rich lady. But what's always interesting about that is that, like,
I mean, you have one.
they
guest
hire
room.
other people to do all the work. You never hire the same person to build all of it. Like you hire this person to do it. Or when you're building, like, you know, the temple where you hide your secrets, you bury everyone with it.
That's what the pharaohs did.
Yep. They really fucked up on that one. Also, why not just wait for him to come home and make him open the safe for you in front of you? Like, that's what Anna's doing, like, right off the bat. You come home, she's sitting in the closet, and she's demanding you open it.
She might try and hit it, but she's got those real small hands.
Yeah. She's punching in the kids' birth dates at first, at least.
Definitely.
Also, why didn't
And then
an
all
alarm go
ones,
off when
all
someone
nines.
was trying to put in the wrong code? Another thing, his alarm system is bad. I love clandestine river meetings when she meets with her boss by the river. That was great.
Have they met there? Oh, I was thinking about the boat one. Have they met at the little houseboat river before? Or did we just see another scene in like Slow Horses at that same location?
I think it was Slow Horses.
It's a cool location.
It is.
It's dope.
I wrote fucking love a secret room, but why is it on the plans? Because, yeah, that's insane. When she's at the clandestine river meeting, her manager says, I've got this information from the back channel that's like gone cold now. No one's talking to him anymore. But I thought it was interesting that they call it the back channel, not the Good Old Boy Network anymore, because it's the same thing. We had another Jackal name drop.
Yeah, that phone's going to be a factor.
Yeah.
We got just enough to tease us with the name, but there's things on the phone.
Why did I write live in the ruins of cities?
Maybe it's live.
Huh.
Did you look up where this was shot?
It was shot all over Europe.
All over. I'll tell you the specific places.
Yes, I would love to hear.
Hungary, Croatia, London, of course, and then Vienna.
London Foggy Town?
Filling in for Munich.
Interesting.
And it is absolutely beautifully shot. Great use of the stunning locale.
Yes, I think they do a very good job of that. I said this is the best family ever because I love his family for some reason. Here's where we can get into the car chase. Car chase is very cool, is what I wrote.
Boy,
Really,
you're diving head first, didn't
yeah.
you?
But I also wrote, but this seems like a lot of risk for your revenge. And this is where I get into I don't know how very good he is at his job. I know that some of it was pre-planned because he obviously knew where he was going to get out. But the car chase seemed very close, and it just seemed like a whole lot of risk to kill this guy that you could have easily gotten away from in another way.
Yeah, like when he's going to the supermarket.
Yeah.
Car guy to car guy.
Yes.
The part that kind of weirded me out the most was he pulls into the street and there's a car backing out.
Yes.
And he just decides to hit that car really hard.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a great plan.
And then he has to, and it doesn't work.
No.
At all. It's not even close. So he has to back up and then do what I thought was super cool. Drive on the sidewalk underneath all the construction stuff. Knocks off the little thing at the end so it all comes crashing down. And that's how he gets away. I thought that part was dope. But what was he doing crashing into that car?
And to that point, did he plan for that car to be there? Because he ends up where he was supposed to end up. So his plan must have kind of not worked perfectly, right?
Well, I guess
Do you know
maybe
what I mean?
he was making sure that part was blocked.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would have been interesting if they'd set it up a little differently, where they're like some guys pulled up on the other side of that, and he had blocked off. So he did that, to mess something else up. But I loved the car chase scene because it was shot very well, and the action was very cool, and it shows that he's a good driver, and it shows that he can, terrify people. But it didn't seem like a very professional plan. And it seemed very like an emotional revenge rather than a well planned out. If you're the best professional killer in the world, I think you have a better way of doing it than that.
If this show's gonna work, though, it's got to have one of those set pieces on Ep, I think.
Yeah. And it was what we were waiting for. I was waiting for Revenge Ep. We got Revenge Ep. I was super excited about that. And again, I'll let it go because you have to have some excitement, and that's what the show did. I wrote in your comment, this is why you don't have a family, because that's going to screw in everything. And then this is where he has no emergency switch. There's no as soon as that mirror got open, why is there no switch that burns everything in the room? Right? Or double locks it, or just sets off the smoke alarm so they all have to leave, or sets a fire in the kitchen or something to distract them.
Or a recording that says, do not go into Dada's secret room.
Yeah, this is Dada's secret room. Please do not enter.
Exactly. That's what he needed.
And then my last, this is the first time the motion detector goes off. That was my note. It basically was now he's getting they're in his room. Say it's not them, it's the cops. And they're in the room, and now you're oh, I'm glad I got this notification that they're in my secret room looking at all my secret stuff that had several steps that could have told me that they were in there before, but didn't.
At least a special button to flush the pornos.
Sure.
You want to keep all the cash. You worked hard for
You
those
gotta
IDs.
delete the furry stuff, you know? You
But-
don't want that in your
yeah.
funeral. You don't want them to know, especially the kids. I don't mind the family story because that's clearly going to be that's going to be his mistake, right? This family snooping into stuff, I think, is clearly what's going to get him caught. I think the
family
either
does
that
something,
photo that
or
the
he
mom
loves
took
them
of him
too
way in the first
much or
step of him and the
something. Yeah,
kids, something where he's going to slip up for the family, or they're going to find out about the family and use it as blackmail because Bianca is not beyond that at all.
I just think the show grinds to a halt whenever we get into the family stuff.
It goes to sitcom mode for sure.
Yeah.
There was an alliteration to money and doing it for money. I don't remember why. I think it was a comment that somebody else. Oh yeah. It says money is almost always the motive. When she's being investigated.
Yes.
And that I was like, it probably isn't. But that seemed like a hat tip to the original book, when he's just like, I'm doing this because I just want a lot of money. I just want to have a lot of money. Yeah, so I don't mind the family stuff. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's the best part. It definitely, like you said, grinds it to a halt. But I think they're just setting that up for that's how they're going to kind of leak into it, or he's going to get caught with something.
It just seems a little stereotypical, both in the way we're portraying this Latin family, and also just in the idea. It's just a trope of these types of stories that doesn't seem to have any immediate payoff. Withhold judgment, but
this is where I'm hoping there's a twist, and I want we watched Hitman, right?
Yep.
That's what I want, is that little like, is she gonna turn on her family to protect him? Right? Like, that's what I want. I like, now that she knows all this stuff, is it going to make her pull away from him, or is it going to make her, are we going to do the Mr. and Mrs. Smith type story?
Are you emotionally invested in her or her brother or the child or their relationship
No, because they haven't spent any time actually making that interesting. They've spent
a lot of time on it.
They have. They've spent a lot of time.
Which is the disconnect.
Well, they spent a lot of time on the plot of them finding out about him, but they are all characters to explain who he is, not characters to explain who they are.
Yeah, so it's not working for me. I enjoyed the episode. The show continues to be a little bit completely obvious.
Sure.
Like, for example, he's going in with his limp and he's going into the place to do his recon in his disguise and his wonderful German accent, and was he on crutches, or was he has a pronounced limp or something like that? And then we cut directly to the guy who has been shot in his leg, who was trying to recover,
trying to learn how to walk again.
A pretty obvious cut to cut that is meaningless for here's a
I finished film school.
Right, exactly. Here's a character connection.
Well,
isn't this
to
cool?
that
they both have bad legs, or are pretending to have bad legs?
We all have bad legs. To that point, one thing that this show has shined on is the production quality.
It looks very well done.
It's very well done, and it looks very good. All the acting is good.
All the acting is good.
Despite the character non-development of his family, all of their acting is pretty fantastic. They just don't give them a real plot to like build anything on. I'm still not a huge fan of what they're doing with the cop. Or hashtag good cop.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. I love her acting. She's very good. Actually, everyone in the MI6 or MI5 where they're at is tremendous. Her boss, her higher up boss, her like assistant, the guy that investigates her is kind of like quickly, I think, stole the scene when he was like asking her the questions when he's like, like this is my, what I'm doing. But I still don't know how like thrilled I am with that part of the story. But obviously, that's the whole thing that's supposed to be this face off between them. And I think what's killing me is I'm not rooting for any of them. This is like leaning even more than the movie, trying to make you root for this other character, for this antagonist who's the bad guy.
Well, there's a little bit of that in the very obvious who needle drop at the end.
Yeah.
Ending on the line, new boss, same as the old boss.
Right.
As they're looking at the mold of the face.
Yeah.
I thought that was another kind of obvious film school, just graduated type of nod.
And it'll be interesting to see more. I hope we get more of the bad guys that have hired him. Like a little bit more of that rather than just the secret room of billionaires. Basically the volcano meeting.
Yeah.
Our secret base meeting is all we've really kind of seen of them. I have in the book and the movie, you feel for the characters who want Charles de Gaulle killed, or you at least understand their motive. Not that you're wishing for it. I don't. I mean, all that's in this is that rich people don't want people who know where their money is, which we found out even when you do know with the Panama Papers, nothing happens. So it really doesn't matter if we find out where their money goes.
Well, overall, good ep.
So the lesson we've learned, nothing matters on to episode 4.
Get a door for your door.
Get a door, an alarm for your door. Just a little chime, Bing. Just anything, really, beyond the camera that's in the place that you're trying to protect someone from getting to. An alarm for your closet.